Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Broom Closet Briefing. Live, I have a fantastic guest today. His name is Dorje Kirsten of Heart Astrology, and I'm going to have a little bit of a history on how I know him. So, like I was saying, that I frequent every single Portland metaphysical store, and there is one that hosts a metaphysical event like I think they do that every quarter, I think, right?
Every quarter, yes. Yep.
Yeah. That's where I met him. He read my chart for a really long time, to be honest. And I'm like, he was very interested to know what I'm doing. And he was like, oh, I'm on Substack as well. I said, we should do a live together. So now I have him today. And Dorji, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Dorje Kirsten. I've been an astrologer since 2006, studied medieval astrology with Dr. Bernadette Brady. Currently, I am the Secretary of Record for the Organization for Professional Astrologers, giving a talk at the United Astrology Conference in Chicago in 2026 in September, on September 1st. Would love to see you there if you're interested. I am deeply enjoy political astrology and what's called mundane astrology, which is the astrology of predicting natural events as they occur. And so then I am really happy to be here, answer any questions you guys have. I have, I have, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I have a lot to say about Donald Trump, what's going on with him. I have a lot to say about what's going on in the world as a whole right now, how we're going through major changes psychologically, emotionally, and politically that are revamping all of society. So, like, fire away with the questions and let's go for it. And I'm so happy to be here, by the way, Broom. I am a huge fan of the way that you blend the work with tarot with politics and gaining insight into the political world. So thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I know we talked about it for a long time, and I actually kind of kept that 28, 29 slot for you. I actually had a couple of other people who wanted to be on this time. I said, I have already told him that this is already gone. So, and I couldn't figure out for some reason how to block out that time on my calendar. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to even send anybody my calendar before 28 is booked out. So, all right. So, guys, we will take questions, absolutely. But I think we are going to talk a little bit about the pressing question that everybody has. So, I want to hear a little bit on what Dorji has to say about the big orange buffoon in 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue. So, we can a little bit look at to his chart and get Dorji's insight. I am not an astrologer, so I am going to totally let him take the reins to this, and I can chime in on what I have seen based on what we have already went through with me, like on my readings as well. I've done tons and tons and tons of readings on him, and I keep updating it because I know we are getting close, but we are not there yet. So go ahead, Dorji, if you want to share your screen and if you want to talk about, go ahead. So
Sure, absolutely.
There should be a share screen button right below. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Fantastic. Okay. So everybody, I'm using what's called whole sign astrology rather than quadrant based astrology. And that gives every sign the entire house that it's in. Some people are familiar with different charts. Just want to put that out there. Now, before I launch into the timing of the events right now, I want to address something which I feel like is a real elephant in the room, which is we all know Donald Trump is a sycophant and a narcissist, that he has an IQ of something like 68, scoring way below anybody else. And yet here he is in this position of ultimate power.
Yeah.
Now, how did he get there is one of the questions that I struggle with. And it's pretty clear and evident within the chart. First of all, he was born on an eclipse. Like literally within a few hours of the exact eclipse, you can see that the sun and the moon are on the nodes, which means that it was a total eclipse, that the moon is exactly opposite the sun, is about to conjunct it within the next degree. And this to me shows someone who walks into the world with the purpose of stirring the world soul, or maybe a walk in, like you could even like, go mythologically and say, here's some kind of like demonic figure meant to cause harm and suffering and trouble for the entire world or to move the world soul. I mean, if we were alive during the time of Genghis Khan, we'd say, oh, he was a demonic figure. But in a certain way, he shook things up so much that
Yeah.
in the end, the world transformed for him. And, Trump may be in that way. He may be shaking things up so better things can come after that. One of the things that is really interesting is we've just Pluto entered Aquarius. Pluto also entered Aquarius back in 1778.
Mhm.
And as it did so, what it did was it really forced an end to the oligarchic class that was
Yeah.
ruling Europe at that point in time
Yeah.
because they engaged in so much excess. So by the time Pluto is leaving Aquarius, then the French royalty were having their heads cut off
Mhm.
because they had so overpressed their luck on
Yeah.
pulling all the wealth out of the people of the country of France. I believe that the US is modeling that cycle right now,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
and that Trump is the king who is taking too much, who's having, his opulent balls and parties. Like, what is it? Building the ballroom, right?
Yeah.
And in the end, it's going to be good for America in the end because we're going to have a check on excessive wealth hoarding
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
again. But we
Yeah.
have to get to that extreme place. And he was the person who delivered us to that extreme place. The other thing in his chart that's really remarkable is he has Mars, the planet of aggression, conquering, fighting, conjunct his ascendant. Whenever you see this, you know that somebody is absolutely positively coming from a place of being aggressive and dividing people. Like
Yeah.
Mars conjunct the ascendant, you are a divisive person.
Yeah.
Now, you can be a divisive person for the good. I think he's a divisive person for the not so good. There's different opinions. I think everybody here agrees that he's like,
Yeah.
dog water. But but that Mars ascending conjunct the star Regulus, which is the royal star, and it brings good fortune and luck to whoever has it. So
Mhm.
he is someone who can manifest his will and has a tremendous amount of luck doing that. So
That is
that's
what
how
I
he got there.
Yeah, that is one question that I think everybody has. I mean, I have too. Is like, when is the luck gonna run out? Is it like a ever like a never emptying bucket of luck? That's not possible, right?
It will collapse very, very quickly. Now, the star Regulus, it's one of the royal stars, and it comes with an admonition, which is that the person who has that strongly in their chart, will have success in their life with whatever they do, unless they seek revenge.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what we're seeing right now is a Trump who is completely fixated on revenge against his political enemies. From
Mhm.
Carol Jean, who he just launched a
Yeah.
Department of Justice investigation into.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how do you see that turning out? How have you looked at that with the cards yet?
So I haven't, but I'm looking at the pattern on every single, the Department of Justice case that he has opened, and has none of them has gone his way. So I think I can, even without my cards, I think 60% I think it's gonna fail, because it is
Hmm.
not just one time. Two times the jury found him liable of sexual assault, and the other
Yep.
time the jury asked him to pay reparations, right? So it is not, it's never going to go anywhere. Like, his Department of Justice could not even indict the guy who threw a sandwich, right? So I think I can safely place my bets on them losing on that as well. But it is really it is very disappointing, right? That is the grotesqueness of the situation. Is the person who is the victim, who's a sexual assault victim, is being investigated, right?
Yeah,
I think,
horribly grotesque,
yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Yeah. So now the question on everybody's hands is like, when does he start to falter, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
Or how does he falter from his own excess? One thing I'd like to point out is that currently Jupiter is conjunct to Saturn.
Hmm.
Now Jupiter is in the 12th house of hidden enemies and hidden things. It's being ruled by Cancer, the moon, which has to do with emotions, which has to do with body and vitality in his chart because it is in that axis of the sun moon opposition and conjunct the nodes. So, one of the things that we're seeing from that already is that as it's conjunct Saturn, there is something about his health that is being hidden from the public. And we all know it's happening. We can see it, right? But this is a sign that there's something bigger going on this week
Hmm.
than we all know about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
think I think
yes.
The Walter Reed visit was definitely pretty significant. I think he immediately canceled the Camp David, the
Mm,
cabinet meeting that he had the day after, citing
mhm,
bad weather, and weather was like just normal weather or whatever. But they said that it's the weather is not good to go there, so basically he canceled it. Right. I think it has to be something to do with whatever treatment he got. He can't fly or something like that. I would be very
mhm.
surprised that that is if that is not the case. Yeah, I agree.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I think so. And so then Saturn and Jupiter are conjunct here. Saturn rules his health. The sixth house is health. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn by traditional terms.
Mhm.
Venus is the traditional term ruler of death in his chart because Venus rules the first term of a water sign in a day chart. This is
Yeah,
astrological lingo. My apologies. But if anybody wants, I could explain it further. But this means that he is having a health crisis, which could lead to his death in the immediacy of the moment,
yeah,
which is probably why they're coming down so heavy on, okay, no flying, cancel everything, whole completely staged appearances. What are they? They're giving him an IV every
yeah.
day,
Every day. Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
showing up in the bruises in his hands. They are doing whatever they can to
yeah.
keep this zombie walking. And that makes it a little bit hard to predict his death astrologically, and the
Yeah,
reason I'm
because
gonna tell you this.
yeah,
Yes.
it's I blame modern medicine. Like if my predictions about like he's been gone has not come to pass yet, I blame modern medicine. He should have been gone a long time ago.
Absolutely, 100%, and that's the
Yeah,
thing, modern medicine is really, really good, so the traditional techniques for, predicting death are not working as well.
yeah,
Otherwise, I would say literally this is one of the weeks where he could have died
yeah,
with
yeah.
Jupiter conjunct to Saturn, Venus, while he's in what's called a 12th house perfection Jupiter year, meaning Jupiter has a lot of power over his chart
Mhm.
currently.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and so I'm gonna share a personal story if everyone's okay
yeah,
with
yeah,
it. I have
yeah, yeah.
2 2 twin boys.
Mhm.
By traditional astrological words, they should be dead. Within the astrological chart, they should have died at birth. They were born preemie, 4 weeks early. If they were not able to be put in a NICU, they would have been dead. So I do know that, traditional astrology's death predictions, it would have happened, but modern medicine saved
Yeah.
them. So I know, like, this guy, this zombie, this walking dead man is being kept alive by the IVs. I don't know if they're putting like teenage boy blood in
Oh,
him
yeah, yeah,
or
that
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Um I,
yeah,
I
I mean, that guy is now in, Argentina, now getting blood from teenage boys over there, I guess, Peter
oh,
Thiel.
Peter Thiel? Yeah, like, like that, what a monster. And he's the
I
monster behind Trump, right?
Yeah, exactly, and the fact is that that character that we saw in Silicon Valley is actually based on him, and it is not that show, like, they talk about the blood boy. It's
Oh, I,
actually
I didn't know that. That's horrible.
yeah,
So what
that actually, the character is totally, based on Peter Thiel about what he said that, blood transfusion from young kids would keep you going, whatever. Gross, I know. But, this is the gross people he surrounds himself with.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if Trump was doing it because I think what Trump fears more than anything else is dying.
Yeah, yeah,
He's said over and over that he knows he's not going to heaven,
yeah,
and yet he's surrounded with a bunch of Christians talking about the fire and brimstone of hell all the
yeah,
time. So this has got to be like terrifying to him as dying,
yeah,
and
yeah,
part of staying in power for him is not just avoiding jail;
yeah.
it is not dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in his mind, like
Yeah.
he has to keep going. So what we're going to get next year is we're going to get Jupiter moving into Leo. Jupiter's moving into Leo at the end of June, and Jupiter is a planet of good luck and good fortune. You know, nominally, if you're doing astrology, you're going to say that.
Yeah.
Jupiter in traditional astrology also is associated with death. Because what
Oh,
Jupiter
wow.
does is expand. So, what happens if Jupiter moves into the place of the body, the first house, and
Mhm.
expands?
Mhm.
Someone can expand out.
Mhm.
So, one of the things that I'm going to really be looking at then is here, let me switch this over to, we'll go to months, is I'm going to be looking at the date. If I'm going to be looking at when Jupiter conjuncts Pluto in August. That is going to be a time where there's going to be some sense of his relationship to power and death is going to expand beyond his control and
Okay.
bring up something that is hidden and dark within him, because Pluto is what we hide.
Mhm.
And Trump is hiding a lot of darkness.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he's hiding a lot of darkness. So that's going to be exposed. This happens every 12 years, but he is a lot more fragile now. His ability to be rooted in life is a lot more fragile. As we have that happening, then we're going to have the nodes. At that very exact time, the nodes, which is karmic hits, karmic destiny, karmic comeuppance, conjunct his ascendant
Mhm.
that exact time.
Mhm.
This also is a mark for some type of like karma coming back at him. It's the south node, karma coming back at him that he does not want to deal with, that is very difficult. And that has to do with the deal he made with the devil.
Devil. Yeah.
No, personally, I am not a huge conspiracy theorist, but if you look at all of the Epstein stuff, it's not hard to imagine that this guy, went into some Babylonian temple magic and decided to sacrifice a couple kids in order to get the power that he had.
Yeah,
You know
and
that.
I am going to like really kind of like I this is not an outrageous concept for me, and I will little maybe a little bit of diversion from here, but it's a little makes sense to me in a way because I'm from India and we have
Mm,
all these kind of thoughts going in like in rural areas where there are practitioners who would ask for child sacrifices like to the goddess or to whatever like to you know to gain kind of power like power and wealth and money
wow.
and this I think it runs in every culture so that's why it's not like outrageous to me when I first saw that anyways yeah
Mm. No, 100%. And whether that's a mythological statement or whether it's a true statement, either way, like what did he sacrifice in order to get where he was?
yes
And then the karma for that, we're really looking at the last week of August for
mm,
it ripening in some way that's really significant. If he makes it that far.
yeah
And if he makes it past that, then we're going to have the same thing. We're going to have Jupiter conjunct his south node, conjunct Mars in at the end of October, November. Really good. If he's not dead yet, then this is a good sign for he's getting his karma coming back at him in terms of the house
house
flipping.
yes
And suddenly he's being investigated for all of these actions that he took over the last 2 years that he
yeah
thought he could get away with, you know. And why did Peter Thiel run to Argentina?
exactly. I mean, if they were so confident about their master plan, this is what I keep telling even my subscribers when
Hmm.
they had this concern is like no matter even if Trump is gone, we have these people, the plutocrats, right? And they're gonna be they are gonna do all of these things like surveil us. I'm like the anchor's gone means I think they will all flee the ship at the same time. I saw him leaving long time ago. I just am not great at my craft to point out the exact place he is fleeing,
Mm-hmm.
but
Hmm.
Argentina was pretty much out there because all the Nazis during after the
Yep.
Nazi Germany they all fled there, and I was like I was telling you the other day, I think America is not Nazi enough for him, so he found
Yeah, no, I 100%. I think like he fled. I think like they know that the American democracy is not something that they can fully manipulate into subservience
Yeah.
in a 2 or 4 year period,
Yeah.
and that's gonna come back to haunt them. You
Yeah.
know, just to kind of like let's see, just to favorites, take a look at this. I'm going to go to the U.S. Sibley chart.
Mhm.
So we have the Sibley chart here, which was the moment that the U.S. government came into existence,
Yeah.
July 4th, 1776, 5:10 p.m. There's a whole bunch of different charts. This chart really worked well for 9/11. It worked well for World War II. It worked well
Mhm.
for the Great Depression. It worked well for the Civil War.
Mhm.
One of the things that's really interesting to highlight about this chart is that during the Civil War, you had Neptune conjunct the IC and you had Uranus in the seventh house. We have that again right now. So we are in a civil war
Yeah.
in the
We are.
United States. Yeah.
That's what I said to my readers as well. Like, don't wait for an official declaration of a civil war. We are already in one, and it looks like the redistricting, right? How we are like
Yes.
drawing aggressively drawing maps. Look at what players are again involved, like the South, the like the people who don't want you to vote, and the people who are fighting for their their rights to vote. We are back there again, except it looks like we are just doing it digitized, like we are drawing maps, we are erasing places, we are erasing people, right? That
Yep.
yeah, it's the same civil war. I totally agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And at that point in time, it's also being fought in the law courts. It's being fought in the courts.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and so then the Supreme Court is kind of on Trump's side, but all the other courts are for the most part
For the
on the
most part.
side of the people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and another thing that's happening right now is that we have the North Node moving over the Sibley Moon.
Hmm.
Sibley Moon uh, ruling the eighth house of change, transformation, and so this to me also is pointing towards, well, it's a very risky time
Hmm.
for the president
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
As the this indicates also though that the people are coming together and getting ready to demand a change. That
Yeah.
North Node is moving the people together. Getting that's October. Oh
Yeah.
wow, yeah. So that's October. This also has to do with the election, in my opinion, because the moon represents the people in
Yeah.
a country's natal chart. The North Node in Aquarius represents, okay, I'm feeling a little more confident that we could be having a very positive election come November. Now, everybody still needs to get out and vote. Everybody
Yeah.
still needs to work. Everybody needs to be on social media and encouraging each other to get out for the midterms
Yeah.
because we've got to get the fascists out of
Yeah.
power. And the
Yes.
only way to do that is to create a viable opposition that has some power.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what the midterms give us an opportunity
Yes.
for.
Yes. And the fact that we have the power, like if you feel like okay, we don't like either party or they are not also doing their work, we have to make sure that we keep mm, voting in progressive people, and that is what we can do, like
Hmm.
as our civic duties, right? So we have to do our part, and then we have to keep fighting to keep doing our part. So I think that is an ongoing process. It's not one time, like this is what I want to see 2026. If there is a
Mm.
massive turnout of voting, I want to see that more than that coming out in 2028. Like we should be encouraging people to vote in every single elections. It's not
Mm.
just one election. We got him out of power. That's it. No, we cannot sit down. We have to keep working towards that progress, right? Where we want to go from there.
100%, 100%, absolutely. So that's the Sibley chart. Now, I just want to show you something here that Sibley chart that's I think really it's fantastic. Okay, so with national charts, you can do what are called secondary progressions. Secondary progressions are a timing technique that's used when you read natal charts to show when events are going to happen within the life. And then if we do that with the natal chart, what you get is that Jupiter here has been retrograde since the Civil War
Yeah.
by, let's see, uh, and it just went direct. Mm,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It just went direct in May.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are now moving into a time where the US is starting to fully integrate new understandings and ideas and ways of being about what is good for humans, what is
Yeah.
good for society.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we had to excavate all of the darkness, all of the shadow
Yeah.
that the American culture is.
Yes.
Racism, the way that it was founded through genocide, and we had to bring that up, and that
Yeah.
all got brought up in the caricature of
Yeah.
Donald Trump,
Yes. Yes.
so that we could see it. It's kind of like looking at your own shadow. You
Yeah.
have to see it in order to heal it and process through it and back through it. And that's what Jupiter stationing direct in the progressed chart has
Yes.
done
Yes.
over the last, this is a very long, slow transit, lasting a decade. And
Yeah.
so we're coming to the end of that.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of hope that we are coming to the end of Donald and moving towards what will be a more equitable society going
Yes.
forward.
Yes.
And,
I mean,
I,
it will be a work in progress. Like it is not gonna just magically switch the
mhm,
night he
mhm,
dies or something, or he's out of power. But I do think that it is still gonna be a work in progress because it's a cult, right? So the cult
mhm,
needs to kind of completely disintegrate. And I do have a article that I'm writing today to educate about cults and different kind of like what where MAGA actually fits. And I have while writing it, I actually kind of changed my perspective a little bit when I was going through the definition of it. It's like I do think MAGA has mutated from being a cult of personality. It's kind of like
mhm,
a hybrid version of a cult of personality and a cult of movement. But I do think that the cult of movement ratio is a little smaller than the. It's still very much controlled by Trump because all the flag
mm,
says
mhm.
Trump, blah blah blah. Trump,
Yes, yep.
right? We are still. I think we have to dismantle it while it is still like that. It cannot mutate into something else, and then we kind of like dismantle it. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm,
that way it will turn into something like like what Mormonism is today in a way. Like it did start as a cult of personality, but
mm.
eventually evolved into a cult of movement, right? So
Uh-oh.
or Scientology is, right? It was a cult of personality to a cult of movement. So we cannot wait for it to actually mutate into a cult of movement. We have to
Mhm,
make sure that it is dismantled while it is still a cult of personality, which I think is pretty doable with the massive
mm,
voter turnout, with people kind of like coming out and educating themselves. That's why I think educating America should be the project. Like educate
mhm.
America.
Yes, yes, yes. No, absolutely. Education is incredibly important.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. And
Uh,
when we take, yes,
I
yes.
I do have one question though. There is one
Mhm,
question that
mhm,
says, have you read anything about the Cuba invasion that is
mm, mhm,
probably impending? I know I have done a reading and I have said that yes, they are going to invade Cuba
mm,
some way
mhm,
or the other through waterways. I think they're gonna start like attacking the boats and stuff that they started doing in Venezuela. It's like the sneaky way,
mhm,
not like a
mhm.
real.
Yep.
What is your take on it?
100% agree with that. The I and yes, the Rubio is behind this. This is why Rubio agreed to do what he did. This is why, like, I don't think they have blackmail on Rubio like they do on almost everybody else in the cabinet. They're just giving him something he really wants, and what he
Yeah,
really wants is Cuba.
yeah,
So they're working with that.
yeah.
Um, and waterways would look for that to happen before Jupiter moves out of Cancer then.
Cancer. Yeah,
And so then that's the end of June. But obviously, he kind of got caught in this sticky tar baby with Israel.
yeah,
Uh, in Iran, and he can't quite extract himself from the Strait of Hormuz, trying everything he can as desperately as he can to get out of that so they can work on the project they really want to do, which
yeah.
is Cuba. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. 100% with you on that one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I would like to highlight a couple other things, like,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to
go ahead.
talk
Yeah.
about
No, no, go
how
ahead.
harmful, Donald Trump is to the United States. So, First of all, Donald Trump's Saturn is exactly conjunct the United States Mercury. In the United States, Mercury rules the 10th house of the government and the seventh house of the people. So Donald Trump tries to limit, destroy, and deconstruct the government and the people of the country.
Mhm.
The seventh house is also relationships. So
Yeah.
what has Donald Trump done as Saturn there? He's deconstructed all of our allied relationships.
Mhm.
You can see this very clearly in the
Yeah.
synastry between Donald Trump and the United States. Another thing then is that the people is also represented by the moon. Donald Trump's descendant, which is open enemies,
Yeah.
is conjunct the moon.
Yeah.
So the people of the United States are the open enemies of Donald Trump.
So I
That is very clearly in the chart. The North Node is passing over this right now, especially passing over it at the end of October, early November. This
Yeah.
is why I really believe, like, even if he somehow manages through modern medicine to make it that long, I really believe that that is an opportunity to like start his downward slope that he does not recover from.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
finally, yeah, finally, Donald Trump's Chiron is conjunct Saturn. Now, Saturn is also the structures by one lives on, and Chiron is the wound. So Donald Trump is wounding all of the structures of what makes America a country that can consistently, slowly move towards the just. You know, as Obama used to say, the moral arc of the goodness that America can embody. Donald Trump is wounding that.
Yeah.
That's in the charts. So every time he gets in power, it's like, oh, this is really totally horrible.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Okay. So I think the other question people have had a lot
Mm.
that I also did a reading this morning. I would like to know what you see about that other um antichrist in the Middle East. Sorry. The antichrist in the Middle East. His name starts with a B and ends with a Yahoo.
Mm. The B Yahoo, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's the B Yahoo. Interesting. Before you came on, we were talking about his relationship to. Before everybody came on, we were talking about his relationship to Donald Trump.
Mhm.
You know, just to connect, their Marses are conjunct.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is why they go to war with each other.
Yeah.
They are like, hey, we are best friends in conquering, dividing, and mayhem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have this like total affinity. Even though they were born 3 years apart, their Marses are conjunct. They came in the world connected to wage war together.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know. That must have been from some past life pact. Maybe
Has
one
to
was
be.
Mussolini.
Yeah.
Maybe one was some other. I don't know. Like you can't look at Trump and not think he could be a reincarnation of Mussolini.
I
Like the
mean,
way he moves his lips, the way he like raises his eyes, the way
I
he like
know.
looks around the room goofily. There's you see these clips of Mussolini from the 40s and the 30s, and you're like, those are the exact gestures that Trump is making. It's absolutely
But
fantastic.
are they born like he born after Mussolini died?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Actually,
see?
very close.
I mean, that could
Um,
be totally be him then. I mean, I believe it. I come from a culture of reincarnation.
mhm.
I know I was told ever since I was a baby, I am my grandmother's mother. So
Oh wow, really?
yeah, it's a weird thing in my family. They do that. They say that I said certain things that I couldn't have known when I was 2 years old. So that's how they draw the connection that I have been. And my mom conceived me like
Hmm.
a month after my great grandmother died. So they also kind of draw the connection that way. And in Hindu in culture, it is believed that the close people they want to be born in the same
Mm,
family, and so they
mhm,
keep coming back. Like when I was pregnant with my son, my mom kept saying that it's my grandfather, like my dad's father, and
mhm.
I didn't pay much attention to that. It's like okay, it's whatever. But then my son is extremely interested in building like construction stuff, and he's like always doing that. Like, and he's actually very scarily kind of like good at it in the sense based on
Wow.
his age. And my grandfather was a chief city architect.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I wanna in my next life, I wanna play guitar, and I'm just, like, so inept musically right now. So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna get a guitar, and I'm gonna start practicing, not for this life, but for the next life.
Next life.
So the next life, I can be good at it." Yeah. Jonathan, great comment. Mussolini reincarnated makes sense to me. If so, he's destined to be ruin of fascism yet again.
Yes.
100% with you on that. Like, it's like the guy is just way too excessive, and,
And
it's gonna rubber band.
and also one of his nicknames that people call is Mango Mussolini. I mean, how
Right.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so I do theorize that Trump is Mussolini.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that could be the case. My only, like, question is, like, how did he have the karma not to spend a bunch of time in hell in between rebirths? But
I
that's
know.
for
Yeah.
the, philosophers to figure out.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
you
why
know,
I have
ano
that's why I have a lot of doubt that hell even exists. So
Right. Yes, yeah.
or
Uh,
maybe this is hell. That's
it's
why he's back.
oh, for some people it is. I mean, for the people who have to stand next to Trump while he takes dumps in his diapers,
Oh
it's
my
hell for
god.
sure. It's like
Seriously. Anyways, go ahead. Talk about
uh,
Netanyahu.
yeah, so then the other thing with Trump is, his Jupiter is on Netanyahu's moon, so he's trying to help Netanyahu fulfill his emotional wishes.
Mhm.
So they have a lot of karma there. If we move this, I have not looked too much at what's going on with Netanyahu right now. You said today's an election?
No, no, it's in I think it's in September. But he is very afraid he's like running on a very slim majority, right?
Mm,
So
mhm,
unlike US, I think the Knesset they need it's kind of like a parliamentary system. So
mhm,
they
mhm,
need to build coalition. I think the last time when he did, he was
mm,
like running
mm,
on like really thin ice at that time.
mhm,
Like
mhm.
it's a very slim
Yeah,
majority. So that's why he wants
yeah.
to he also said that they're gonna seize 70% of the Gaza Strip even though
Mhm,
that completely violates the ceasefire deal, right? So,
mm,
but he has to. So, I think the structure is right now like this. He has to appease the war
mm,
cabinet that
mhm,
Israel has.
mhm,
They are very much like
mm,
like they're very warmongery and they
mhm,
want
mhm,
to keep going, like doing this. So, I think, but he knows that the war is very unpopular with the majority Israeli people. So I think
mhm,
he's stuck in there, and I think if you if the reading that I had today, the first card was the hangman, which was basically a person stranded between two pillars and restrained. So I think that is how his situation looks like. Like
mhm.
he if he doesn't get re-elected, then he is gonna get
Mm.
investigated, just like Trump.
Yep,
The
yep,
situation is exactly like Trump. So they have to stay away from jail by staying in office, both of them.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah, 100%. So let's look at September for Netanyahu, the election date. And we have, first of all, the South Node conjunct Mars. Now, this is also going on for Trump. One thing to understand is when the South Node passes a planet, it deflates that planet's ability to act functionally. Now,
Yeah.
Mars is the ability to conquer and wage war.
Okay. Yeah.
Netanyahu and Trump are both very good at that.
Yeah.
South Node is taking that power away from them in September, October, and November.
Yeah. Yeah, October 27th is the, election day for Israel
Okay.
this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so South Node taking that power away, you can see it's almost exact on the Mars during during that election time. As that's happening, we're also getting, Saturn,
Mhm.
opposing Netanyahu's Mercury.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when Saturn opposes a planet in astrology, it's like, you cannot pass this door.
Mhm. It's kind of
It's a
like a
wall.
it's a yeah.
It's a wall, and it's a wall that creates a 2 different paths. And an opposition is the path that's made for you, choice is made for you.
Yeah.
Conjunction is you're making the choice in astrology.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a trine is like, well, the karma is good, and so you're just riding with it like you're going down a water slide.
Yeah.
A square is, well, there's 2 sides, and you can negotiate with somebody how it's gonna go. An opposition is someone else is making that choice.
Mhm.
So what's the choice here? The choice is Mercury rules the 10th house, who you are or what your profession is.
Mhm.
So other people are making a choice about whether he can stay in power or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Likely that's the voters of Israel.
Yeah.
Like, again, like jumping the shark.
Yeah.
Every person I talk to in Israel as an astrologer, they all despise Netanyahu.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think he's running with fake polls or something, you know,
I
like
think so, yeah, yeah, and, I think it is eventually, I don't know what kind of how their election system is, like how
Mhm,
secure the voting system is, but I know coming from a similar, voting, like, structure or government structure in India, it is it is easier to rig a system like that than a
mhm,
decentralized voting system in United States, right?
mhm,
So, like for parliamentary elections, you have to
mhm,
win so many seats, and then you can
mm,
convince some other group to join coalition, and
yep,
you just have to keep doing that as much as so that you can win the majority of the coalition seat, right? So, versus this is different, because you don't have multi-party. So I don't know. That's why I would probably get your insight on it. That based on what I see a massive voter turnout that is eventually this year is gonna kick him
mhm,
out. He won't
mhm,
be able to win that coalition, like how Viktor Orban's
mhm,
election
yep,
turned out,
yep,
right? So
yeah,
that was like, don't, I mean, Hungary's election is not secured. We all know that they have talked about it many times on how they manipulate
mm,
numbers or whatever. But this one was so much so much more voters, like 90% or 92% voter turnout is insane, which kind of was the reason. So do you see that Israel is also going to have that kind of a turnout?
so I'm trying to pull up the Israeli chart now. Let's see here. Search, the nation of Israel. Here we go. Select. Okay, here's the nation of Israel. Really interesting. Okay,
Mhm.
first I just want to point out that the nation of Israel, Mars conjunct what? Netanyahu's Mars
Yeah, yeah,
conjunct Trump's Mars. Okay, so then Trump and Netanyahu come into power, and they are suddenly like, you know, raging war for Israel here,
it's like a live
and
wire. Yeah,
yeah, like a live wire.
yeah.
And I really have to say that I don't think in the end this has served Israel well.
Oh, it's
You know,
not.
but what again, you're gonna have the South Node conjunct that Mars and that both of those Marses for the election. Um, Absolutely, I think that this is going to be very transformative. A large turnout on that day. Let's see, what is that? That's we're going to go to October. Mm,
27th is the election day.
Let's go days here. October 27th. Um, we're going to get Jupiter in Leo, loose conjunction to Mars.
Mhm.
We're going to have that Jupiter is going to be sextile Venus at the same
Mhm.
time, a retrograde Venus coming towards it.
Yeah,
I do think that this is going to be a strong election.
yeah.
With Saturn in Aries opposed Mercury, I'm almost wondering if the military is going to want to get rid of him too.
Okay, okay, that's
As
good.
we know, the military has done some not good things
I
and
know.
expanding
Yeah,
their territory over the last 3 years.
yeah.
And they're going to need a way to wash their hands clean of that
Hmm.
if they want to like continue as a state.
Uh-huh. I think
That's
I actually had a card this in the spread that was about the military, but I read it
mhm,
as like, him using the military in a different way. But it could totally be that. I
mm,
mean, I saw
mm,
that I was like, because I know the IDF, like they are notorious in a way to like support the leader or whatever, but
mhm,
are they so I know that, well, on paper Israel is not a dictatorship, but it kind of
mhm,
functions as one, right? Because they have
mm,
all the shared vision of Greater Israel project or whatever they call it, right?
mhm,
Extending their
mhm,
territory. So, do you think that they're going to change their mind in the sense, or I know there is one. I think he's a scientist or he's a professor. He predicted that they're going to. Encroach into other states. Did you ever see that they're going to be successful in doing that, like expanding territories in Lebanon and probably even Syria as well, or like obviously taking the rest of the Gaza. Have you seen that happen?
well, they already have.
Yeah,
They've already like I my neighbor is Lebanese,
Yeah.
and his family's owned property in southern Lebanon for, I think you said like 400 years. And they've been cleared off of that property and had to travel north.
So
Is the IDF came in and took out all of the schools, all of the hospitals, and all of the public buildings and just said, "We're claiming this now as our buffer zone." But what Israel does is they take the buffer zone and then they slowly, settle it, and then
yeah,
they claim that as part of their state. And they've done that with parts of Syria too. They
yeah,
did that with part of Syria already too.
yeah. So do you think they're gonna keep doing it or they're gonna be stopped? That is probably a lot of people want.
Uh, that's a really interesting question. Uh, Again, I'm looking for the motion of I would look at the motion of Uranus in the
Mhm.
seventh house.
Yeah.
No, let's see. I've got to change this.
I mean, it's fine if we don't have an
Netanyahu.
answer. I mean, it's fine if we don't have an
Mm,
answer today, but maybe
mhm,
this is
mhm,
something we can look into in the future as
mhm,
well. Because I think a lot of
yeah.
people have concern, like why
Mhm,
are they not getting stopped? So I think the bigger catalyst could be like when United States, if hypothetically United States and Israel's relationship is no longer the same as it is today,
mhm,
maybe they get like a little bit like
mhm,
checked for expanding territory like that how the way they're doing. So
mhm,
maybe at some point we can look at if how the US and Israel's relationship is going to be say 5 years from now. So uh,
mhm, mhm,
I ask my very level-headed
mhm,
husband who is not astrologer or a tarot reader, he's just a normal person, but
mhm,
he's very interested in politics. So he would say that he thinks we are very much in the precipice where it is going to fall
mhm.
apart, the relationship.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. There a lot. Israel's lost a lot of support in the U.S. with
Yeah.
all Democrats,
Mhm.
most independents, and half of Republicans.
Mhm.
So they are in a very difficult spot. I want to point out that the Israeli progressed Venus is
Mhm.
conjunct the Israeli progressed Uranus right now.
Yeah.
This last a year. It's been going on for it entered orb for 3 years ago,
Yeah.
right here,
Yeah.
right when the Gaza event happened.
Yeah.
That's keyed into wars. It's lasted 2 years,
Yeah.
and then it leaves next year.
Yeah.
So to me, this means that whatever the Israel project is in terms of war
Yeah.
is coming to an end over the
Mhm.
next 6 months.
Yeah, I think I have also seen that. That is probably also my conclusion that I do see that it is stopping for now. Um, in a way that I think even the Israeli people also do not want it to be continued. It's sucking on all their resources, and there is no like I have friends in Tel Aviv I worked with
Hmm.
because I worked for a company that has their a big version in Israel. So she's like when we are working and she's like, oh, there is a siren, so I have to go down in the bomb chamber or whatever, like where
Ah,
where they every house in Tel Aviv has a underground kind of like not underground like a basement bunker thingy where they you have to
mm-hmm,
stay while the siren is going. So it is inconvenient for them also like to be in the war for like forever, like it's like there is no end to it just because a person doesn't want to be prosecuted. Like that is just a big thing to pay, like where we are today as United States
hmm.
people as well, like we are paying $6 a gallon because of this guy who doesn't want to go to jail. I mean,
Yep.
like
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I'd just like to say something else here, which is I know a lot of people are down on Israel right now because Israel's been involved in war and it's been a warfaring nation
Yeah.
for a tremendous part of its existence. Israel was founded when the sun was in Taurus.
Hmm.
Um, Israel's north node is in Taurus. Taurus represents peace in the astrology chart. Israel's ascendant is conjunct fixed star Spica, which brings glory. There is definitely astrology involved in choosing 4 p.m.
Yeah.
May 14th, 1948, because this is an amazing chart for a nation to be strong in the world.
Yeah.
And it also, though, is an amazing chart for a peaceful nation. But that peace is the North Node. It's what Israel's meant to grow into.
Mhm.
So when Israel falls into war, Scorpio South Node, it is causing itself karmic problems and challenges and harm.
Mhm. Mhm.
And there's Chiron there, which is the wound.
Yeah.
So it's wounding itself when it engages in war.
Yeah.
And for like, I feel like praying for peace in that part of the world and for Israel to grow into seeing itself as a custody of a sacred and holy land for all people, all religions,
Yeah.
is the way that it grows and survives.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
And this,
you think it has to go back to being that.
it has to go back to being that.
Mhm.
It must, because that's what the North Node is. If it
Yeah.
hangs out in the South Node, it is just traumatizing its people.
Yeah.
It's just destroying itself.
Mhm.
Whether it can get there before Jupiter enters Libra in 3, 4 years, I don't think so. I think there's like when Jupiter moves through the 11th and 12th house, there's going to be a lot of reconciliation going on
Mm.
over what has happened over the last 3 years.
Mhm. I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And astrology is involved, Dorji. We know that, right? I mean,
mhm,
every king
mhm.
and emperor had their own astrologers.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they still do. They don't talk about it, but for the most part, they still do.
Yeah.
Mm. And definitely Trump does. I've known a couple astrologers who Trump's people have reached out to and talked.
See, guys, look, that is why he is doing like when something, some podcaster dies on an eclipse day. It is not for, it is not like coincidence.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely troublesome. It's troublesome. Oh, I don't know. Right now, I think Trump is in a medical crisis.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that especially this week is a pivotal point of that.
Mhm.
And then should he get through that, then I think late August is another pivotal point in medical crisis. And then end of October, November is.
Yeah.
If Congress changes hands, I don't know how he's going to hold up with the pressure that comes from that.
I always saw him, like fleeing the country. So I don't know
Mm-hmm,
when it is gonna happen. It is gonna happen like next year, or it is gonna happen like
mm-hmm,
after if he survives, then after the presidency, he's gonna do something really outrageous, like fake something and then flee the country. I mean, all kind of outrageous thing that you can think of, it is totally possible with him because he was a reality TV guy, right? So
yep, yep.
we have to understand who we are dealing with here. A reality TV person, so he can do all kind of reality TV bullshit. So I'm totally
Yeah, yep.
uh, if I would be surprised if he fakes an incident and then he leaves this country uh, with, with that plane he got from that other country in Middle East, like his personal plane. Now,
Yes, yeah, yeah. I could totally see that, especially because when Jupiter, which rules foreign lands, moves into Leo.
yeah,
So Jupiter does rule foreign lands in his chart by term rulership.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so when it moves into Leo, when it's conjunct Mars, when it's trine the moon in uh, October, November, that's going to be a time where he's going to really be, thinking about starting to bail.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna choose a country where they cannot be extradited from very easily. I think that would
Hmm.
be the like it has to be something like I don't know, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or something that will
Hmm.
not hand him over, very easily, right? Or Argentina for that matter.
Argentina. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Argentina,
yeah,
for sure. And Trump's Mars is conjunct his ascendant, ruling his ninth house, which is the
mhm,
foreign lands,
yeah,
and
yeah,
ruling his fourth house, which is home. So
yeah,
it's very possible for him to live a part of his life in exile, which
yeah,
he has not done yet. I
yeah,
absolutely can see that in the context of his chart.
yeah. Yeah, so I would be, I know I've talked about it that I see his arc is actually similar to Richard Nixon in terms of his political
Mm,
career.
mhm.
Like, like the Watergate looks like a nothing burger at this point compared to
Nothing burger.
the amount of like corruption this administration has gone through. Seriously, like why people ever got rid of Nixon? Like he did nothing. He must be thinking like I could have finished my presidency or whatever. But I feel like, but his arc is similar in the sense like it took like almost 48 or like 28 months to kind of actually have the Watergate scandal, like getting rid of
Mhm. Yep.
Nixon. But I do think that his is also kind of gonna be like that, like where he will be like given a choice that you leave or we get you or something like that, and then
Yes. Yep.
he has to make a choice based on that. So I know that I have talked about it many times with my readers, and they will
Mm,
quote me on it because I have compared them side by side that it is very similar because Nixon also tried to stay in power illegally by asking the military to like support him. Just the
mm,
military, Pentagon said asked him to go pound sand. So that is the difference between like whether or not a country turns into a real dictatorship. It really depends on the military, right? If the
mhm.
military
Yep.
is going to support the dictator, or the military is going to support the people. So I think this whole last 2 years, I know I'm saying a very bold thing. I think they tried to turn the people against the military and vice versa for the
Mm,
last two
mhm.
years and failed at it. They,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they could,
100%.
yeah. But they tried because they purged people out. They tried to get people who are more loyal to this regime, and they tried
Mhm.
to like shame them, do like stuff that they want them to do. They tried to make them do illegal stuff, and the military said no. Many times they pushed back. So I still think that they are holding up on their own. That is because
Mhm.
military is a cult on its own, right? You cannot cult a cult. Like that's not how it works.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. So you cannot like that cult will follow the cult, which is the constitution. So it's like they're not going to follow your Pete Hexet's like what he's asking, like putting a bunch of makeup on his face and talking about military being fat. That is not how it's going to work, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
Pete Hegseth has not been initiated into the military cult. I mean, he did serve in the military,
yeah,
but he never made it to the upper echelons.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
so he's just trying to force them to behave the way he wants to. They have whole tiers that are just like, we're just waiting this guy out.
yeah, yeah.
Broom, before we close out, I also wanted to point out to your readers that the solar eclipse in August, and from the time of Babylon till now,
Mm.
solar eclipses have represented the end of
End of the
reigns,
king.
the end of leaderships, the
Mm,
death of kings, the death
mm,
of queens.
yeah,
The solar eclipse in August, the node which is the solar eclipse point, a solar eclipse can only happen if the moon and sun are conjunct within 17 degrees of a node or opposed within 17 degrees of a node. The node is exactly conjunct Trump's ascendant 47 minutes.
wow, 47.
47. Yeah. It says, and it is sextile Trump's Mercury. Not, I'm saying it's sextile Trump's sun, his life force.
Hmm.
The eclipse is sextile his life force and his node, his karma. It is also sextile his natal Jupiter, ruler of the eighth house of death.
Yeah, yeah,
This is a very dangerous eclipse for
yeah, yeah. I agree.
with all the other transits going on. This it will be very interesting. I think
Yeah,
he's making it through this current health crisis, although it's so dangerous. I think the end of August is another huge danger point.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it's a little bit sad, Broom. It's like there is this kind of place we're at where people are asking for divine intervention to
I
save
know.
us.
I know. I know. Yeah. I know. I know. I mean, it is sad, but then also, how do I put it? Like in a way that we also feel that we could have done better. we could have
Mm,
stopped it ourselves, and maybe divine intervention is the way to go at this point, because hopefully we understand that this is our power, and then
mhm,
we don't make that mistake ever again. There's a like a phrase in my culture that they say a bald person sits under a coconut tree should be only one time. You shouldn't sit there more than once, right?
mm,
Because
mhm,
if you if the coconut falls on your head first time, you know that that is going to happen to you the second
mhm.
time as well. But I guess America did, as a bald person, sat under the coconut tree more than once, and hopefully we now know.
Yeah, hopefully we've learned a lesson there. But what you said there is so beautiful, Brum, because Pluto represents power
Mhm.
and Aquarius is the people.
Yeah,
And it's the power of the people.
yeah.
And so while Pluto is in Aquarius, which it's going to be until what was this? I believe
So
2036,
7, 2037, I think.
2037.
Yeah,
Um, it's the lesson of the people taking their power to make a more just humanity, one that
yeah,
works for us, taking the power back from the oligarchs and from their algorithms so that the algorithms can work for us rather than just for harnessing money for the wealthy elite. Like you've probably seen all of these news reports in the last couple of weeks about all of these companies spending hundreds of millions of dollars on
yeah,
AI.
yeah,
They're firing their employees and hiring AI, which is proving to be more expensive than the employees they fired. It's ridiculous, right? But this is the Pluto and Aquarius question.
yeah.
Pluto and Aquarius is people you have to take your power back.
And also, I think if you look at the America's pattern, America tried to do the right thing. They took
Mhm.
like 5 steps forward, then 2 steps
Mm.
back, right?
Yep.
It has
Yep.
always slithered towards the right decision, but like that. Like, for example, during the Revolutionary War, they did that, but the freedom was that for everybody? No, it was only for people who owned land and who
Yeah.
and looked in a certain way, and then it got the freedom, but not for the everybody. Then the Civil War, the most bloodiest war you have ever fought, it is also for like emancipation of the
Mhm.
slave, but then it didn't give voting
Mm.
rights
Mm-mm.
to women, right? That took
Mhm.
like another whatever number of years. So it
Mhm.
has tried to do the right thing, but slithered back like 3 steps back, like that. So I do think that even with this whole AI thing, which I know it's a big discourse, there is good points on both sides. And I am a very technology enthusiast person, so I am
Mhm.
kind of almost always by the side of technology, because I think technology can do wonders if used correctly. And since humans are involved, there is always gonna be misuse, right? That
Yep.
is always gonna be. We have to be very discerning about how we use certain technology, like internet. There is, like, abuse of children pictures on the internet. Like, are we being
Mhm.
able to stop it? Like, if you stop it, 5 more sprung up from somewhere else, right? So I think it is an ongoing battle. And even with the AI, I do think that the thing about, like, when it was like the immigrants taking our job, or like this person taking, now it is the AI taking our job situation. Like, it has just been replaced by the tool, right? So I
Yep.
think this is where we have to kind of like see, like, why are we replacing it with AI? Like, it's AI is stupid unless a human actually runs it, right?
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yep. And so that is part of Uranus moving into Gemini
Yeah, yeah,
and Pluto moving into Aquarius is the age of AI. The last time that Uranus moved into Gemini, what we got was the industrial revolution
yeah,
started
yeah,
out at that point,
yeah,
and so now we're getting the AI revolution. The
yeah,
industrial revolution caused havoc to jobs
yeah,
for a decade,
yeah,
and then society moved and adapted and learned how to integrate that.
yeah,
So that's probably the turmoil we're in.
yeah,
Again, though, it's like power to the people. That's what Pluto and Aquarius is. It's power
yeah,
to the people.
yeah, yeah,
And if you're someone who is putting your voice out there for that, if you're someone who's putting your body on the line for that, as we saw so heroically happened in Minnesota,
yeah,
then you do have to pace yourself because this is a marathon.
yeah,
And we have to be able to go out there, do what it takes to, like, you know, for that, to demand it, to demand power for the people. But when we become exhausted, to take a step back, to nurture our hearts, to nurture our souls, to nurture ourselves, and to nurture our families, and let someone else step forward. And
Yeah.
then when we're strong again, to move back in those front lines of demanding rights for the people as humans, that everybody deserves a just, equitable, financially abundant life, and that there is enough resources available for everyone to have that. If we had elite rulers who are willing to provide for that by, paying their fair share, like 60 or 70% tax bracket. Jeff Bezos would be fine if he was paying 70% taxes.
Yeah.
Elon Musk would be fine. And the rest of America would be a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah, but Elon Musk kind of gives me the creeps. I hope he
Oh,
goes
sure.
away. I hope he goes away somewhere with his buddy Peter Thiel that he started the
Mm,
company first, PayPal together. I think they
yep.
start that together. Yeah, so I hope he can find his way to Argentina as well.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hope so.
Let's hope
Let's
so.
hope so. And
Yeah,
then we'll seize Starlink and SpaceX
and
as
yeah,
public domain properties.
yeah, yeah. All right. If did you guys have any questions that you wanted us to answer? I'm just gonna go quickly through if there was any more questions that we want you guys. I mean, if you want us to answer. If not, then please
Mm,
post the questions on the when I'm gonna post the recording. You can post the questions and we can answer it like to the comments as well. Should be fine. And
mm.
thank you so much for the conversation. It was amazing. And
Thank you. It's always such a delight to talk to you, Broom.
thank you.
Yeah.
And guys, please follow Heart Astrology on Substack. I think he also has a YouTube channel, but
Mm-hmm.
and we are primarily on Substack. So I will upload this on my newly opened YouTube channel. It's growing. I just want more people to see this. That's why I have no intention of doing YouTube. Like
Mm,
I don't have the YouTube aesthetics or like my I plan to get any aesthetics for YouTube. I like this more like a raw talking and intellectual interchange rather than doing all of that podcast bros do on YouTube. Like it's so everybody's looks so similar, right?
mm. Yep. I would just also like to throw out a disclaimer that astrology, like tarot, is a way of seeing. But there's so many factors, like there's thousands of chart factors that can be seen. Sometimes predictions don't come out to be accurate.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do. It's just like, okay, did we see clearly here? I believe we did. No. Uh, but it's always be careful with astrology, with tarot, with anybody telling you what your divinatory experience is going to be in the future. It's meant to be guidance always. It's not meant to be fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Entertainment, that's why there's a disclaimer. Entertainment purposes only. Although I'm
Mhm.
winking a little bit because I have I have so much like so far I have like a year worth of track record where I've been pretty accurate on what I'm
That's right.
predicting.
You're very clear. Like your deities are like really good for you. They're
I have
like,
like
hmm, open.
I have an army of them that works for I'm so polytheistic, like I'm
Mm.
interested in everything. So I have like an army of people who works for me. See, this is why I think I hate religion in a way. It's like it binds me, right? So I'm like, I can talk to this person, that person. Oh, you can help
Mm.
me with that other person. That's such a like a free person I am. I don't need to be bound by anything.
Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for joining. And if you have any more questions, please post it to the recording. I think the recording is going to take a while to upload, but I'm thinking maybe by evening or tomorrow morning I'll upload it. And please follow Hard Astrology. He's a fantastic astrologer. And if you do personal readings, Dorje, please let them know how to book if they want to get a reading from you.
Sure.
Um, yeah,
www.heartastrology.com.
go there
Heart
and
astrology,
yeah,
easy. Yeah.
yep. Book your readings with him. He's done my reading and he's been very, very accurate with that. He said, I'm probably not going to find a job until now, and I haven't.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's what you said is like, I should focus on doing this. And my concern was like, it doesn't make enough money as like
Oh, yeah.
my job did. And like, honestly, I want to say, like, I've been talking to my husband about this. Like, can you power through while I power through this? And he was like scratching his head a little bit on like, if he can do that. I mean, it's a big decision. I mean, this is not who I was up until like last year. It's a lot of like identity shift, I think.
Mm,
And kind of like I was telling you before we started, is like the blending of who I was to who I am now. I think I'm also in a way mourning that person that I was. So
yes, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a identity, and I have Pluto in Scorpio, so I literally goes through this kind of transformation where I have to like completely kill a self and be a new person kind of a way.
Mhm. Mm. Yeah, and to whoever's listening, like, just to put that out there, like, Broom offers her heart, her soul, and her mind for the Broom Closet Briefing to be there for you and to be there for the world, and if anybody knows an executive producer who's willing to throw a few 100,000 to make this a national big time event, like, now's the time to step up. She's deciding what's next, and she needs your support here, so, please, when you hear this, like, talk to that producer that who's absolutely loaded and who would be nothing to elevate her into the mass population to help give that voice of guidance to the nation at a time when we all need it.
Awesome. Awesome. See, he did that already. He said, sadly, I'm just a broke ghostwriter. Jonathan, I know if you could help me, you would help me already. I know that. Don't worry. You're my groupie, though. Like, he's always there for me. Like,
Ah, fantastic.
Jonathan had been there with me when I had like 2 subscribers and he was one of them, and I was the first subscriber of my publication. That was back
Uh,
in last March, I think.
OG Jonathan.
He has been with me like, and he's the one who elevates me everywhere. So I know I have
Mm,
support. I have a very good community here. I thank them every single day. Without them, Broom Closet Briefing won't exist. I didn't even think that anybody wanted to read what I had to say. Like tarot,
mm,
political divination, journalism, whatever that is. Like it's a genre that never existed, and I kind of cooked it out of my head, kind of. But I mean, I do the similar thing that you do, like political astrology. I just
mhm.
use a different kind of tool because I'm not an astrologer. So, but I also use history and myth and the context of the politics. So I think that is why maybe it lands better with a lot of my predictions because the context kind of matters, right? In a way, like when you are reading a question. So
Yep.
I think that is why it is so much more like I have been thinking about like I do the same thing like a lot of people do, but then mine lands a lot better is because of the history and the political context actually. I also use data analysis, so a little bit. So it's a little bit of everything.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ah, okay.
Awesome, guys, and
Mhm.
thank you so much for joining. And I will have this uploaded recording on my channel as well as on Substack, and the audio will be available on streaming for Spotify and the other podcasts that you guys listen to. And thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. All right, take care, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye.